I feel the urge to share my experience of quitting nicotine, as it made me literally a happier version of myself. For those of you who are still addicted to nicotine, it may seem impossible to imagine that quitting nicotine could make one happier. I know this from my own experience. By the way, if you like this video after watching it and want to support me, use the links below to buy the book I'm promoting here. It will be the best tenner you have ever spent in your life. If you source the book in any other way, I'll be more than happy that this video made you try to quit nicotine. The more happier people there are on this planet, the better for everyone. Perhaps you are watching this video because you have some motivation now, even the slightest one, to quit the nicotine for good. I will point you in the right direction through sharing my own experience and explaining some important matters and what to avoid in pursuit of becoming nicotine free for the rest of your life. The big advantage is that it can be done without using huge amounts of willpower, and if done properly, meaning reading this book I'm presenting to you carefully, you will be good for the rest of your much happier life. This book is going to make quitting nicotine an entertaining game. Let's be honest now. You can tell yourself, self-suggest, that you like smoking or vaping, that you like nicotine, but I'm sure you did not like the first cigarette, your first vape. I'm sure it didn't feel right and you might have been coughing, meaning your body defense was activating against inhaling harmful chemicals. But nicotine is so addictive that you can get hooked literally after the first cigarette. The longer you use nicotine, the more you get entangled into believing that you like it. The longer you use nicotine, the stronger the addiction is. Our brain is a curious organ. When you say you like smoking, you self-suggested this to yourself under the huge pressure of nicotine addiction over the years. There is one important thing you have to realize. There is a fear in you, an unidentified and unconscious fear that stopping smoking or vaping will somehow make you sad, make you unhappy. That you are going to lose your guilty pleasure, your moments of self-satisfaction with other fellow smokers when you go outside for a cigarette and similarly. This unconscious fear is stronger the longer you smoke and often prevents you to make a genuine effort to quit. I have been there too, and I only realized this fear exists after I quit nicotine. There is also this misconception among smokers that nicotine calms you down, helps you to deal with stress. No, nicotine does not calm you down. It raises your heart rate, which is certainly not considered as calming one down. What calms you down is the effect of satisfying the addiction when you inhale nicotine from cigarette or e-cig and similarly. It is a vicious circle of never-ending topping up. If you don't have the addiction in the first place, you don't have to calm it down, especially in stressful situations. You will actually deal with stressful situations much better because you will have one less stress to quieten down, the addiction itself. Also, your heart rate won't be as rapid. Back in my home country, in Czech Republic, there's another unhelpful misconception people believe in. The meaning can be loosely translated as once smoker, always smoker. Basically, it implies that you will always miss the nicotine. This can't be any further from reality. I have not missed nicotine a single time since I quit it about 5 years ago. And I know why. I became richer, healthier, and therefore happier person. Since I stopped smoking, I haven't been off sick from work for a single day in 5 years. That is how much my immune system has strengthened itself. Any colds, and similarly, do not disable me in the same way as before, and have a very mild and short course. That is only one of the many benefits. Another one is a huge psychological boost. Quitting nicotine and realizing I became non-smoker again felt like someone had cut off an imaginary chain with an iron ball which was attached to my ankle and slowing me down. That someone who has done that for me was Carr through his brilliant book called Easy Way to Quit Smoking. The realization of becoming non-smoker again right after finishing reading this book was so strong that it has thrown me into 2 hours of natural euphoria with a huge release of endorphin. I instantly binned my vaping stuff, all the batteries in ecological way and fluids as I transitioned to vaping from tobacco in the past to lessen the harm. I have been vaping for about 3 years before I quit nicotine for good, using this brilliant self-help book. This book is loosely based in cognitive behavioral therapy and gives you the necessary information, psychological tools and motivation to overcome this most useless and damaging addiction mankind ever brought upon itself. This book does not dwell on pointing out health risks. Instead, it focuses on helping you to overcome nicotine addiction in a fun way, without using your willpower. Yeah, without using your willpower. It explains the crucial aspects of the addiction, like associations with your routines and similarly. We all know about the health risks of smoking. No one needs to remind us of them. We all know smoking costs a huge amount of money, especially if you buy a regular packet of cigarettes every day. A packet is about £10 in Britain nowadays. That is £300 a month. £3,600 a year? So why do we make ourselves more unhealthy and poorer? Because nicotine is brutally addictive for our brains. It is a very, very hard addiction to overcome and shouldn't be picked up in the first place. It is very hard to overcome without any support and help. Luckily, here comes Carr again and his brilliant book. I firmly believe that this book is the best thing there is to quit nicotine for good. It is all great to quit nicotine using your willpower only, to go cold turkey. But from the accounts of others I know, you are missing out on the protection aspect this book has on offer, for you to not to start smoking again. This book multiplies your chances to not to start smoking again when compared to quitting without it. That is one of the main huge values this book has on offer. Even if you're trying to stop cold turkey using your willpower only, don't torture yourself. Grab this book and let it guide you on your way of becoming non-smoker again. Please do. Make yourself a happier person. Each of us has only one life, only one unique experience of this wonderful gift and phenomenon we call life. Don't let it be spoiled by the unfortunate development in human race past, that of the discovery of tobacco and exploitation of its massive addictive properties, the exploitation by the greedy tobacco industry. Tobacco industry has done and is doing many things to keep you hooked for their profit. I consider nicotine addiction a modern day slavery. Why would one pay most of their life to damage themselves? There is no logic in it. All logic is overshadowed by the fact that nicotine is so addictive. Nicotine is brought upon us at early age, when we inhale nicotine, usually out of peer pressure. We have our first cigarette because we don't know, we don't realize how addictive it is. When I was about 12 years old, I was telling people, what do you see in this? It looks stupid to me to inhale and blow out smoke. So stupid, I thought. Then I got hooked myself too, when I was about 16 years old and became a regular smoker for about 17 years. I wish I was better protected by the government. I wish the legal age for buying tobacco products was higher and not 16 years old, as in some Western countries up until recently, like Austria. how powerful the tobacco lobby is when the governments allow to enslave their children from this early age. They should be ashamed. But under the pressure of scientific evidence about harmful effects, the notion is changing, and Britain is spearheading this change finally. You won't see any tobacco products in shops here in Britain anymore. They are hidden away out of sight of shoppers not to attract those who haven't developed the addiction yet. Hopefully, we can raise the legal age to 21 and similarly. Thinking that picking up tobacco and consequently getting addicted to nicotine is a freedom of choice matter is a huge misunderstanding. The addiction was brought upon us by greedy people. It was glamorized in the past by likes of Hollywood and similarly. It was supported by governments who let tobacco promotion run wild in the past. But they have realized finally, especially if they have state healthcare systems like NHS, that the cost of smoking and tobacco consumption outweighs the income from tobacco tax, with ill health caused by smoking resulting in lower productivity of citizens and similarly. Poor slaves were used to cultivate tobacco in the past. Paradoxically, tobacco industry continues to have their slaves in us who remain addicted to nicotine. See through it, see the reality, free yourself and help others to free themselves. Become a happier version of yourself. Don't let this unique gift of life to be spoiled by this stupid addiction. Please, I urge you, if you have slightest motivation to stop smoking, grab this book and free yourself. One final advice. Cannabis is becoming legal to use as a recreational drug in many countries around the world. I know of one person who quit smoking thanks to this brilliant book, but was silly enough to let the brain remind itself of how addictive nicotine is. By having few puffs out of cigarette which contained cannabis mixed with tobacco at some party, he gradually fell back into smoking tobacco again. He has stopped since, and I hope he's not going to make this silly mistake again. Don't let your brain get reminded of nicotine once you quit, in any way. If cannabis is legal in your country and you use it recreationally, don't mix it with tobacco. It is often the tobacco which makes you keep addicted to cannabis too. Cannabis itself is nowhere near as addictive as nicotine. Good luck, take care. Now go and grab that book.